the condition of Muslims before 97 and after 97, there was a huge difference. Although India had secular democracy, constitution with let's say fundamental rights given to Muslims, and also as far as law is concerned, there was no difference between Hindus and Muslims. All were treated equally. Minority rights were given constitutional protection. But somehow the Britishers gave them reservations, and in the Constituent Assembly, last time reservation was removed for the Muslims because they thought that we could not continue with reservation because it may pose threat to let's say the nation. So somehow the misunderstanding or somehow the suspicion with the Muslims community did not even go with the partitions, and even the secular people did not teach them honestly. So I have found that since 1947, things started gradually becoming bad. And later, after 1970s, the rise of Hindutva forces have also come. So I don't know. It's a very sad situation, given that the historical reality is that Hindus and Muslims are brothers. They have to live together, and all those people who believe in justice, they should come out and they should speak for the rights of the most marginalized, be it Muslims or be it Dalit or be backward classes. So what we can do for really taking Muslims out of their backwardness, bring them to mainstream, and really work for the development of the nation.
Yeah, that because I have authored a full book, which is Muslim Vision of Secular India, Destination and Roadmap. This discusses everything, and I have talked of 4 levels of empowerment. One is the ideological empowerment, which means Muslims must know what is the truth of Islam. They must know the history, they must know the facts, and because unless they know facts, they cannot counter the propaganda against them. So that ideological empowerment is one part. The second part is what I call social empowerment. Social empowerment means at least 3 things. Number 1, educational empowerment, which is definitely one of the most important things. Then there is empowerment of women within Islamic framework, and the third thing is fight against social evils. So these 3 things comprise what I call social empowerment, and of course economic equality. That is the thing, social and economic equality. Then the third thing is economic empowerment. Unfortunately, Muslims for last 60-70 years have only been concentrating on educational empowerment. Educational empowerment alone cannot achieve the success that is required, because economics is an important thing. Economic empowerment and educational empowerment, they should combine together, because if you do not have money, especially in this era where education has to become industrialized, if you do not have money, you cannot send your children to so many schools, you cannot give them the best education. So unfortunately, Muslims lost way. They did not participate in business from a small scale industry to higher to corporate level. In out of 1,000 corporate companies listed in India, top countries, the Muslims are only 10 to 11. They should ideally be, according to the population, they should have been at least 130, 140. But at corporate level, they could not achieve anything. It's a small scale industry and medium scale industry, they were doing pretty good till a certain time. But after this industrialization, after this corporatization, the small scale industries, they flopped everywhere, and Muslims were the biggest losers. And the fourth thing is political empowerment. Political empowerment, unfortunately, Muslims have started thinking that political empowerment means certain number of MPs, certain number of MLAs, certain number of municipality members. But empowerment is something bigger. Political empowerment means you should be able to raise the issues not only concerned to Muslims, but also raise to the issues concerned with the nation as a whole. The socio-economic issues, so many issues are there where Muslims can present their point of view. They can raise voice, but they have not succeeded at that level, because they, after 1947, they were so much under pressure from the communal forces, who were always trying to prove them that they are against India. They were pro Pakistan and this thing and this thing. So they were always kept under pressure, and because of this pressure, they could not organize themselves in a real way, which should be the ideal way to achieve success. So this is where they failed. Now, if they have to attain success, they have to work together on all these four fronts, together, not one after another. I do not believe in doing one thing first and doing the second thing. All four empowerments, all strategies have to be adopted together. This is another thing, that there can be a distribution of work. Distribution of work is another thing, but on every front we have to work hard, and we have to do it in a peaceful way. In the meantime, we have to try to bring all the other communities together. We have to develop. I say that in India is a country where there is actually no majority. From socio-political angle, there is no majority community. It is 5 minority communities. One is the secular upper caste, the other is Hindutva forces, upper caste, the third is OBC, fourth is Dalits, and 5 are the religious minorities. So all these are the 5 communities, and we have to try to build peaceful relationship with each one of them on the ground of commonness. For example, even with Hindu forces, we can tell them that at the level of religion, we both believe in God, we both believe in good family system, we both believe in religious morality. At least on that ground, we can come together. With the Dalits, we can show that we are underprivileged, we have suffered a lot, we can come together to bring about economic empowerment. The same is the picture with OBCs, with secular Muslims, with secular Hindus. Of course, this is natural that we all believe in secularism, and we all believe in coming together for religions. So this way we have to work. Only then we can succeed.
One criticism against Muslim leadership is that in decision making, or at the level of institution, community institutions, 2 social groups are not given representation. One, Muslim women, and another is lower caste Muslims, who constitute, let's say, majority of Indian Muslims, as Indian Hindus are. So they argue, the lower caste Muslims argue, now they are known as several terms, let's say Pasmanda Muslims, maybe backward classes Muslims. So they argue that at institution, it is all the upper caste Ashrafia dominance, and that is why they feel somehow marginalized. And when there is any demand from the Muslims community, I find that the lower caste Muslims, they critique it, that if that demand is going to be accepted by, let's say, Indian state, who is going to be benefited? The way Ambedkar had asked the questions in, let's say, 1920s and 30s, that if Indian National Congress is going to get independence, who is going to get power, and what would be the state of, let's say, lower caste and Dalits? So would you agree that the religious institutions, the community institutions have failed to give appropriate representation to lower caste and Muslims?
Yes, that I absolutely agree. This is the truth that cannot be denied, and this is the most unfortunate truth of the Muslim leadership. Unfortunately, still now, though things are changing for the better for last 20 years. Now, even the so-called Pasmanda communities are becoming much more advanced. In fact, in certain matters, for example, Ansaris, called Julas earlier, Lohars, they have become much richer even than the so-called Ashraf communities. So, because they are into the business, they are in business. So business class always becomes a little more richer and better. So that thing is now getting a little better, but there is no doubt that at least till 1990 or 2000, this was a problem, that Muslim leadership was not properly able to galvanize the lower classes. And in case of women also, the thing now, things are very much changing. Now Muslim girls are getting education in every field, they are progressing, but this was a late beginning. There is no doubt about it.
I think we have almost reached 1 hour, and this discussion is very fruitful, I think. And you have been very candid in answering all the questions, even though they are harsh and sometimes they may not be charitable. But as a student, I am asking this question from you. I think you will pardon me if something goes wrong. Now, if you are saying that Muslim leadership has done some mistakes, okay, this point I agree with you. And you have said that you refer to Ansari community that they are doing good in businesses. This is also a fact. But several social scientists have also argued that there is a concept called social capital, cultural capital. Even if they become rich, even if the lower caste Muslims, or let's say in the case of Hindus, the lower caste Hindus, if they become rich, the social dignity, the prestige, the equality is not given to them. And even intermarriage, that Islam has never stopped anybody, the man of faith, to marry each other, but still we find that they marry within their own community. Where things have gone, do you think changes are being made, or society is still very traditional and orthodox? And
No,
what you as a reformer are
no,
doing?
changes are going on very fast now. That's inter-community marriages are becoming very common, very common. In fact, when the people see often the level of the boys socio-economic status or girls economic status rather than the community biradari. Now not much interest, people are not much interested in biradari now, so things are very much changing for the better. But certainly it has taken some time, and it should have been much earlier than it began. Hopefully things will be much better in next 10 years, inshallah. फिर वो कांटेक्ट छूट गया।
Hello, I think, hello, are you able to hear me? I think there is some internet problem.
Yeah, it's
Hello,
okay.
sir.
Yeah.
Sir, sir, I think 1 hour is over. I will just take 5 minutes more, and then we'll
No,
conclude.
no, so it's okay, you can continue.
Yes. So I am asking that there has also been a talk of unity between, let's say, Dalit and Muslims and lower classes. I think there have been several experiments in history. We could see that Manwar Kasiram has also talked about Bahujan, that Bahujan includes religious minority also. Now Ubaisi Sahab is also giving the slogan Jai Mim, Jai Bhim. And recently, the great scholar A.G. Nurani was in Delhi, and he gave a talk, I think 1 year back or 2 year back, and he gave on the very point that Muslims should have association with the lower caste from Hindu community, but they should never sound like anti-Hindu. So these are very complex issues because the Hindutva forces can also use that very plan to create some kind of the fear among the majority community. So how to balance and how to bring communities from the oppressed group together and bring a strong front against those who do not believe in equality.
As I have said, there are 5 groups. We have to develop strategies to have good relations with all those 5 groups. So at least, for example, that upper caste Hindutva lobby, we cannot be as close to them as we can be close to the Dalits or the OBCs. But still, we can neutralize their enmity to a certain extent if we try to bring them together also on the ground of religious morality. So there are certain issues. This is a complex thing. This is not easy to achieve, and there are always, because the enemies always find one reason or the other to target you. Whatever you do, even you do the best thing, even then they will find some fault with you.